All right, so let's sample test some of these World Series odds and see if we can pick a winner. Over at BetMGM, the Dodgers still your reigning favorites. They're 3-1. I was thinking to myself, okay, the Yankees are kind of mired in a bit of a pit. They have lost four straight. They're 2-8 over the last 10 games. Maybe we can find some value on the Yankees in the futures market. Not so fast, my friend. The Yankees still the second favorite over at BetMGM. They're plus 450, followed by the Phillies at 5-1, O's 8-1, Braves 9-1, and then several teams kind of in the thick of things in the middle. The Mariners 14-1, and the Guardians 16-1. So, Jenks, is there anything that stands out to you on this list?
Yeah, I really like the Baltimore Orioles. 8-1. I mean, here's the thing. I would not the Yankees are slumping right now, and one thing I will say when it comes to the Yankees is I know this could be temporary, but I think that price should be a little bit larger. But the O's are very fascinating, and here's why. Number one is that they've got to get some help, and I think they will. They've got to get some starting pitching help, right? They have Corbin Burns. We know Bradish is out for the season, and they've had a lot of injuries to the rotation. If you're Baltimore, don't you think they will make a move at some point? They'll make a move to get another arm in that rotation. When they do, these odds will shorten, and also you're getting a touch of value here just because the O's are coming off that 5-game losing streak, which was their longest losing streak in more than 2 years. That's done now. So I feel like it will be hard to find the Orioles at this price as the season goes on because I'm telling you, they have the talent to win it all. They've got to make a move. I think they do. So I'll take Baltimore at 8-1.
I would love to take the Orioles, and you know that I love the O's in this household, but it feels like a team that kind of peaks in the regular season. And here's why. They've got a great lineup, but when you talk about the postseason, you need three legitimate aces when you are facing the best of the best offenses in October. And I'm looking at the rotation for the Orioles, and it just doesn't feel like a rotation I want to trust in the postseason. Corbin Burns, yes, that is a 1A guy that I certainly trust. But after that, who is their 2 and 3? Kyle Bradish, who's on the injured list right now, Grayson Rodriguez, who is very young. We've got Cole Irvin, Albert Suarez, who used to get hit up with the Angels. So maybe if they make several moves at the trade deadline, that they can be contenders. But I have major questions about their pitching staff. Like, I'd love to believe in them, and maybe it's simply price based. But I think I would rather go with the team with a better starting rotation. But looking at the current odds right now, I think maybe if you like some of the teams at the top of the leaderboard, you wait. Maybe you see the Yankees and maybe they will fall if this losing streak continues, if they continue to kind of spiral in the month of June. And also the Phillies. Last night, this is a 1 game sample size, and I don't think this is the point that I'm trying to make, but they lost to the Marlins as minus 300 favorites. But the big part of this game was two of their star players got hurt. Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper both left the game early. We will have to see, what those injuries entail. But if you like the Phillies, like I do, I think this is a scenario where maybe you can wait and get a better price on the Phils because we are talking about starting rotation. Nobody has a better starting rotation in baseball right now than the Philadelphia Phillies. In fact, it's an embarrassment of riches. Not only do they have 3 solid starters, they have guys that aren't even like main starters that have ERAs under 3. Like looking at guys like Spencer Turnbull, who is their long guy out of the pen who doesn't even pitch, 5 innings plus when he starts. He's more of a bullpen guy, but still he's good. They have guys like Christopher Sanchez who come out and deal on a weekly basis. So I'm still on the Phillies, but for me, it's more of a waiting game to get a better price on the Phillies right now.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, the Phillies are very dangerous. They're very dangerous. And with those injuries, like maybe this is all so fluid. That's the interesting thing about these futures odds is that they can change so quickly. So sometimes if you don't like the price, wait a little bit because no team, you know how baseball is. It's a game of streaks. All the time you'll see a team get hot and then a team will fall back. It happens all the time. So if the price is too short for you or you're waiting for better odds, and it's so early in the season still, we're not even at the halfway point. So you can wait a little bit and get better value for most of these teams.
Yeah, the other team that I feel like we need to talk about at this juncture in the season is the New York Mets. And maybe it's not the Mets to win the World Series. They're 80-1. I feel like that is very much a long shot. Maybe you bet on the Mets to make the playoffs. Right now, you can get them at plus 240. It feels like this is a team that has been down in the dumps for most of the year. But I feel like it's not because they are devoid of talent. It's simply they got off to a very slow start. But now the Mets sitting at 500. They're one game back out of the wild card race in the National League. And it feels like this is a team that could certainly carry on this momentum that they have conjured up with Grimace and maybe parlay it into a wild card berth. So, Jenks, are you buying in on the Mets to make the playoffs?
Yes. This is all about Grimace for me. I'm not going to look at the numbers. I don't care how they're hitting. I don't care how they're pitching. All I care about is that big purple blob inspiring the Mets, nay, Major League Baseball. I mean, how awesome has it been? They're one of the legendary characters in the history of the world. This is not a coincidence. This is a Grimace play, and this is going to continue throughout the season. Isn't it crazy that the Mets could go from where they were last year, being sellers, huge disappointment? Maybe they'll be buyers at the trade deadline if they keep playing like this. I mean, all of a sudden, they're in playoff contention. And you know how it is in baseball. These guys are superstitious. And all of a sudden, they need a little inspiration. There's Grimace. Let's go, Mets.
Well, if you are looking at numbers, and not just Grimace, who I think is a very bettable angle in this, the Mets have skyrocketed when it comes to their offensive numbers. Right now, sitting with the fourth best WRC plus in all of baseball. So over this torrid stretch, and this, I'm trying to think of how to turn grimace into a verb. This grimacing stretch, the Mets have been playing so well that they have negated such a terrible start to the season. And now their season-long numbers are actually some of the best in all of baseball. Jenks, I told you this. I was watching the Royals and Guardians last night.
Okay.
And Fox Sports has been replacing the logo of the Mets with the face of Grimace. It's similar to, remember when like the Patriots and like the Jets were playing on Thursday Night Football and they're like,
yeah,
okay, who's the face of the Patriots? Oh no, I guess we'll just put the coach. Like now Fox Sports is like, well, we don't really want to use one of the players. We're going to use Grimace on the promos from here on out.
I think it's smart. I think they should do this. Like, you know what, for the Marlins, I'll just throw up Mayor McCheese on there. Nobody respects Mayor McCheese. What are you the mayor of, sir? I love it, though. These are one of the great things about sports is when you have little nuances or little things like this that become a thing for a while. So I hope they keep it going. Wouldn't it be amazing if the Mets make a run to the playoffs and then here we are in the postseason and they bring Grimace back?